Hey everyone, thanks again for stopping by to this speaker series that we're running for the FAA 25th International Australian Astrology Conference. It's every 2 years, and the next one is January 2025, and that is January 16 to January 70. Oh, sorry, 20. Bit excited. So I'm Vanessa Montgomery from Astro All-starz, and today we have Marc Laurenson along to chat to us about 3 lectures that he is giving at the conference. So welcome, Marc. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you, Vanessa. Thank you for having me. I'm very excited about the conference and very excited about being a speaker there.
Yes, me too, both. And hearing everyone's talks, meeting everyone in real life, because just reminding people this is IRL only. This is in person only. We're not streaming it. It's not being streamed. And the ticket booth closes November 30, end of November. So get over to the website, faainc.org.au to check it out. The schedule's up, all the speakers' bios and topics are up. You are going to love it. Very friendly. Come by yourself or bring a friend, meet new friends. You will always will. Great community, networking, energy and vibe with all us geeky astrologers.
It's going to be a fabulous event. I can't wait.
Absolutely. I'm sure we've both been to a few. So
Yeah.
yes, speaking from experience. So, Marc, you have 3 lectures for
Yeah.
us today. I'm just going to run through the titles of them now, and then we're going to get you to tell us about them. So,
Sure.
lecture 1 is Work and Atonement, Vocation and the 12th House.
Yeah.
Lecture 2, Emergence and Flow,
Yeah.
the Medicine Axis.
That's right. The meridian axis. Yeah.
Yes. And lecture 3, Entering the Unknown, planets linked to the North Node. Okay, let's start with number 1, Work and Atonement. Tell us about it.
Well, the 12th house is one of those houses that kind of a lot of people think is just all about seclusion. You know, it's the house of pulling away from life and the house of isolation. But the reason why we have to go inward is to get in contact with the voice inside of us, or our intuition. And when you're thinking of the 12th house, you're thinking of connecting to something greater than yourself. Okay. And so the last 3 houses are all the integrational houses. They all have something to do with who you are out there in the world. And the 12th house is one of those houses. So when we come into a place where we connect with something inside of us that makes us feel like we have to do something very important in life, it feels like our calling. You've heard many people say, "Oh, I found my calling in life."
Yes.
And I believe that's the 12th house, when you're actually feeling that there's something inside of you that has this strong soul need or spirit need to do something beyond just making money, to do something beyond just clocking in and clocking out, you know, that kind of thing, to do something bigger and greater. And it feels very connected to karma. It feels very connected to what you have to do on that level as well.
Yeah.
So I'm going to be talking about planets involved. I'm going to be talking about the ruler of the 12th house for you and how it can lead you to your vocation. I know many of us
Mm.
who are in the astrology industry, we would know this because being astrologers, you know, we're not necessarily going to be doing, you know, the jobs that everybody else does. We're doing a job that's speaking to us
Yeah, the
from
passion project.
somewhere else, you know? And so that's what I want to talk about with the work and atonement and how the 12
Okay.
house can help
So
you.
you're going to talk about the planet ruling the sign on the cusp of the 12th and
That's right.
a little
And
bit.
any
Oh,
planet
great.
in the 12th and planets that are aspecting the 12th
Yep.
and how they can guide us, how they can help us.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. We're going to all love that one. And so talk to emergence and flow, the medicine axis. Tell us about that.
Yeah. It's the meridian axis. The meridian axis is the axis that goes from the IC to the MC.
Mhm.
Okay. And I think it's really important for us to understand the meridian axis as like the trunk of the chart. It's like the trunk of the tree of the chart. It's foundational in a way. And I truly believe that it holds the chart together. And so the emergence is where it comes from. You know, the emergence is that feeling of the 4th house. It's the IC. It's where it's come from. It's the family, it's the early environment, it's the upbringing, it's the tradition, it's the culture. And I honestly believe we have to get that right. We have to, because that's the roots. That's the roots of our chart down there. And we have to have strong roots. We have to have sound roots. So the rest of our tree, particularly the MC, which is the highest branch of our tree,
Absolutely.
can work well. So
Yep.
we might look good on paper. We might be out there doing stuff out there, in the world, and everyone might be going, oh, look at what you're doing. But if you really don't have a good root system, if it's not anchored well, it's going to
Mm.
be very wobbly up there. It truly is. So the meridian axis and the emergence of what's coming through the IC and what you're bringing in has everything to do with how well you're going to, I want to say you're going to be in the world, as far as your success might be concerned, or just your confidence level, or just your mission in the world, just climbing your mountain in the world is going to have a lot to do with who you are on that deep emotional level. It'll have a lot to do with your childhood and your upbringing and your family and what your family represents for you. So I really want to zone in on that as well, to be able to understand how they both work together and to be able to come into a stronger sense of your emotional kind of well-being, to be able to handle the MC well. Yeah.
Absolutely. That sounds fascinating. So meridian axis, not medicine axis, but maybe I'm onto something
Well,
with
I
that
mean, it could
name.
be a medicine axis too in the end, because doing it well would be very healing for you for sure.
Absolutely. Yes, good medicine. All right. That sounds fascinating, I have to say. Making me already think of lots of things. So,
Right.
lecture 3, entering the unknown, planets linked to the North Node.
Yeah,
Tell us about that.
well, people who know about my work, they know that I love the nodes, and I spend a lot of time on the nodal axis. Okay, so a lot of time is spent mainly on the south node because the south node brings in stuff from before. But I want to spend time on the north node this time, and where the north node wants to take us. And the north node is relatively new to us. It's relatively new territory. It's the opposite to the south node, as we all know. So we're kind of entering into an area that feels a little bit uncharted. It's uncharted territory in a way. Okay, so I'm not just going to be talking about the North Node and the sign the North Node is in. I'm going to be talking about all the planets that are involved with this, because there's going to be a ruler of the North Node, the planet that rules the sign of the North Node. There's going to be planets probably conjunct the North Node or square the North Node or trine the North Node. Also going to be looking at the houses, of course, that it's going to be in as well. Everything is taking us into brand new territory. So there's a feeling of being guided. All these planets act as torches. They're kind of
Yes.
torches out there in the wilderness to shine a light in a new way for us. And so it's just a way of being able to add more ingredients into your nodal story and realize that there's much more going on in your chart than just the North Node and its sign. Okay.
Absolutely. That sounds fascinating. 3 really great talks there. So come along and find out when Mark is on and get into those talks. I'd love to hear some of these too. These sound really great. I'd love to hear your perspective on them and experience. So remember, our speakers all have a lot of experience. Tell us a bit about yours, Mark. You have your own school in Sydney.
Yeah, I run Sydney Astrology School. It's been going for 17 years now. It started off in my lounge room in 2007.
Oh, it's the best way.
And now it's a big international online school, and I've got students from all over the world now. And it's grown over the years, and it's become very, very popular. And my business has been going for almost as long, just as long as that, maybe a little bit longer actually. I got my first astrology book when I was 10 years old. A lot of people
Wow.
know that. So, it's been in my life since, a kid. I can't remember my life without astrology, really. It was around my Saturn return, around 29-ish, about 30 years ago,
It
35
often
years ago,
is, isn't it?
that
Have
I
you noticed that?
actually started practicing. I
Yeah.
became a practicing astrologer around 29, 30.
Yeah.
Been doing it for a long time, and I've been teaching for, for almost as long, 20 years, that kind of thing.
Fantastic.
So it's a huge part of my life, and I love it. I love every bit of it, and I love being able to not only teach people astrology, but make other people's lives better because of astrology. So that's what I'm about.
Absolutely. So experience is everything with astrology, isn't it? Because as a science slash art, it's all about observation.
Exactly.
So it really
Exactly.
enriches it.
It
And
just awakener. It answers all your questions.
absolutely. Yes.
Yeah, you know what's going on now. You know, you can't hide behind anything anymore.
Exactly. It's a very useful navigation tool.
It's sure is. It's about
And what is your why for bringing these particular talks to us this conference?
because of the name of the conference, yesterday, today, and tomorrow.
Yes.
So I tried to figure out the things I loved and the things that would be really great for people to listen to and people to learn from.
Mhm.
And so each of my three talks have something to do with moving forward in some kind of way, but
Yeah,
also
great.
looking back and being able to use the past in a productive way so we can actually head towards the future positively. Yeah.
Great, fantastic. Always like to hear how people respond to briefs like that. And so, thank you so much for joining us. Everyone else, do check out FAA Inc, FAA check out speaker schedule, check out the bios and the fascinating topics, and book yourself in for the
Yeah.
weekend, January 2025. Gold Coast at the Novotel Hotel 'cause it's going to be very hot. So you're going to have aircon, and we're right by the beach at Surfers Paradise. It's going to be
Yeah.
so beautiful, so friendly. You're going to learn a lot, lots of ideas going, lots of new friends as always. And we look forward to both of us seeing you there. Come say hi.
Yeah. Yeah. Please come. It's going to be fantastic.
Absolutely. Thanks so much, Mark, and we'll see you in January.
Yeah. Thanks, Vanessa. See you then. Bye.